Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls from all across the fruited plain and abroad, my name is Brandon Davis, an artist formerly known as Rags to Riches. And as always, you guys are here right now because you have nothing else better to do. I'm actually excited to have a pretty cool discussion today. BuildTheTech.com, in collaboration with the Bonfire team, we have worked diligently for months now to bring a pretty cool protocol to the Titan-X ecosystem. So we're going to be talking all about that. We're going to be talking about what it does. We'll be chit-chatting with the founders here. Very excited about it. And without further ado, we're going to bring in the two founders of Bonfire. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Mr. Crypto Rich and Jay Class. Gentlemen, how the heck are you?
Doing great. Glad to be here. Glad to finally be here.
Yeah, man. Glad you guys are here too. What about you, Jay? How you doing, man?
I'm excited, nervous, excited, anxious, about every emotion you could probably think of. I think I'm on about 2 hours of sleep, but I'm excited, man.
Yeah, I'm excited for you guys. To give you guys a little bit of background here about this. Why are we streaming right now? Well, BuildTheTech.com was approached by these gentlemen, and they had actually a handful of ideas, a couple ideas, and this was one of the ideas that we decided to start talking about and working on and bringing to market here. And it's been a very interesting ride, hasn't it, gentlemen?
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
It's a new experience. If you never built anything, building got some struggles, and it's always moving. I don't care what you plan for. Any blueprint that's ever made always has changes. So, I'm a builder by trade, so I kind of thought I knew what I was getting into. But then when you get into the technology side of things, everything changes so fast. So you got to be able to kind of evolve with the situations. But it's a fun experience for sure.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say the one thing that I really got out of it was watching all these streams with Jake and all these other builders, and they're just not quite telling you what's about to happen yet, and I understand why. It's because they get in the middle of it and they're like, oh my gosh, if we did this, then that would do this. And it just kind of, and we kind of experienced that. And it was really fun. But it takes a while to get it all tweaked.
So before we get into this, and I love kind of seeing through the eyes of you guys, because you've gone through the process very fresh. What was your expectation of how this would go compared to how it actually went? I'll start with you, Jay.
Probably pretty on par with what I thought. I wanted to build for years, and honestly, there was never really a community that I felt comfortable with. And then Titan-X and the ethos came, and I was like, man, I want to build on Titan-X. So started just drafting some white papers, getting some ideas. But the hardest part is actually getting the idea on paper to where it makes sense, and then finding trustful people to bring the project to. And Titan-X makes that easy. BuildTheTech.com, I got nothing but good things to say about y'all. How you kind of led us through the process. Go over things that could be wrong. If you do this, can we try this? And just tossing ideas back and forth. But I kind of figured this would be what it would be like. You'd start on path A. You might take a turn to path C for a minute, and it's going to bring you to B, and then you go to D, and then you end up on A where you want to be. Yeah. Some kind of way,
That's how that works, man. It's a work in progress, right? What about you, Rich?
Yeah. So I guess it's, I didn't really have a real expectation coming into it. I didn't know what was going to happen. I had no clue. But I know this is not a commercial, but I'm gonna make it a commercial for you guys. You guys have done a great job of taking the ideas that we had. Let's this kind of how this started. I know we'll probably ask that a little bit deeper later, but the I'm just like a lot of the guys watching this thread and this YouTube right now. We've been in Titan X. I wasn't on day one, didn't know about it, but I found out about it, and ever since then, I've been like, man, what if we could do this? What if we could do this? What if we could do this? And I've been thinking about it. I know there's a lot of people in this thread that have been out there. I can name some of them that just say, man, I wish we could do this. And we finally I was able to make, get up with JC there. And we were actually able to come up with a plan. We found you guys and we said, okay, these are all the things we've been thinking about.
Yeah.
And that's how it happened. And it's pretty cool that it's coming to fruition like this. We took a couple ideas, we pared it down, and then we made this one, what I think is really good. So really
Great.
excited.
Yeah. Excited for you. And that's how the process goes. You come up with an idea and then it turns out to be something completely different at the end, but it's much, much better. It's a lot of thinking. It's a lot of hitting your head against the wall to try to figure out, there's problems that come up too, and you have to overcome some of those problems. You got to figure out some cool solutions. So you guys have a really, really strong idea that you brought to market, challenging, and it's awesome. So J-Class, I'm going to start with you here. In about 30 to 40 seconds or less, kind of explain to the crowd who you are and how you got into crypto and how you got to Titan X.
30 seconds, man. That might not be long enough. Let's see. I'm in my 20s.
Yeah, I see that.
I'm married, got 2 kids. My parents live with us. They're a little older, so we take care of them. They can't really take care of themselves. So we're a busy household. Kind of had to put my work to the side so I could be home. So it gave me more time to put into building in crypto. I've been in crypto since probably around 2015, 16-ish. Rode all the waves up and down. It's a great place to be if you find the right people to be involved with. Let's see. Titan X, I don't remember. It was on Twitter for sure how I found Titan X. I think I was either day 1 or day 2. I want to say day 2 because I didn't want to get rugged. So I waited till day 2 because I wasn't sure. I didn't really know Jake or anything about Titan X, but it sounded cool. I loved the white paper. Everything just made sense. And so it was on my target. And then I was like, man, let's give it a shot. And the rest is history, man. I've been grinding ever since. I had a lot of family things the past probably 6 months. So I wasn't really on Twitter a lot, but I still had my Titan X. I wasn't, I guess you would say, involved as much as I wanted to be, but I had too much going on, man.
Yeah. So you've been around crypto on and off since, you say 2015, 2016?
Yep.
Cool.
Put in, I wouldn't say off. I've been on. I've been grinding since then. I ain't never took a day off. I might not have been shilling or nothing, but I was definitely holding my bags.
You were watching, observing, and making moves in the background, right? Yeah.
Yeah, because with the 9 to 5, it's hard to keep up, man.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, cool. Rich, what about you, man?
Yeah, man, I'm married. Got 2 kids, and I actually work in technology, but I'm not a developer.
Okay.
It's almost like a project manager type role. It's actually, the actual position is called product owner. But so I was familiar with the tech process, and I think that kind of helped me through some of it.
Oh yeah, you beat us up, man.
Yeah, that's yeah, I understand that, but yeah,
I mean, no, but it's great. It's great. But what's the
yeah,
alternative? Not being thorough. Like
right,
that's exactly what you need with this. So we appreciate that.
yeah. It was actually fun. It was actually more fun than my real job doing it. So because it's it was building it for us, for the us
Yeah,
and
you got
everybody.
emotional attachment. It's your baby.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So I guess history as far as like just kind of this world, I guess, as far as crypto and all that. Well, back in the day, I mean, I was trading in stocks a lot. I've jumped into forex, and I've found that I've done pretty good in both of those, right? Just in the trading world, and I say pretty good. I don't have a big bag, and I'm not a big old millionaire trading all kinds of dollars like that, but I, I have done decent in all of those, and I've learned a lot of strategies over the years.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, I heard about Bitcoin. I guess I probably heard it was about $100, and just like I tried to put in I tried to buy about a, $500 worth, so 5 Bitcoin, and went through my bank to get into, I guess, Coinbase or wherever it was, about ready to go, and then my bank turned it down, thought it was a fraudulent,
Mm. As they
fraudulent
always
thing.
do. Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't know anything about it, so I was like, "Well, crap! What am I going to do now?" So at that point, I kind of just put it off, and then basically when the whole GME and Doge stuff started rolling, I got back into it, kind of noticed it again, and kind of
Yeah.
rolled
You and the
with it.
rest of the world, right?
Yeah, but that's also when I realized, just from a trading perspective of cryptocurrency, it's like it's all you can do all the things that you do in forex and stock market, but it's on a much faster time frame.
Yeah.
And so it's like it opened up a whole new world for trading for me. All the strategies that you think about in that, you can just go way faster with it.
Well, it doesn't sleep, right?
Yeah,
There's
no
no
sleep.
market
Right.
close.
But
I can't hear you. There you go.
if you like volatility, you can really do some crazy fun trades with it. So then, kind of finish this up. I've also been a kind of a online entrepreneur for a long time, and that's the one thing that just hasn't really worked out the way I wanted to. And I mentioned, you can look at my tweets, who got me into here. I was basically about to. This probably makes people mad. I don't know, but I was basically just about to get into Hex,
Mm-hmm.
and I saw a tweet about Titan X,
Mm-hmm.
and it's been history since.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, interesting. Those two communities are very closely intertwined. I have, I've got plenty of Hex myself. I think it's the thing that kicked off this whole kind of revolution, and a lot of what we
right,
learned about crypto was because of that. And Titan X is just another iteration, a little bit further down the road of what's
right.
happening there. So it's good stuff, man. So let's get right into this, guys. We made our introductions here, and we're going to talk about Bonfire. This is going to be launched within the Titan X ecosystem here. First and foremost, do you guys have any general timeline as to when this will be coming to market?
We are, as long as everything stays on track, we're looking at the 18th. So
Okay.
we want to get out before Trump takes inauguration. Just kind of as a let's go, man. It's a new world. The future's bright. We got a crypto friendly president, and seemed like the perfect time. Numerology 118, so that lines up.
Got it.
But just yeah, so the 18th is long, and everything's on track. We should be perfectly fine with that deadline.
Okay, cool. I'm going to say one thing too, guys.
Yes, sir.
These guys are not giving me any tokens or anything like that. They did pay my company to build the project. Just want to be crystal clear about that. And one of the things that I like to do with all projects, regardless if we built it or not, is just to have these AMAs here. So there is no additional consideration for this stream. I want to make sure everybody knows that. So let's get into this here. On the white paper, and I've shared that link in the description. Bonfire, which is BFX, is an innovative decentralized project built on the X28 ecosystem, leveraging cutting edge smart burn technology to revolutionize traditional buy and burn protocols. Bonfire is designed to maximize the efficiency and the impact of buy and burn mechanisms, elevating deflationary tokenomics to new heights. All right, guys. So Bonfire, Crypto Rich, I'll start with you. What made you go with Bonfire, and kind of what problems does Bonfire actually solve?
Yeah, I would probably I'd probably push it to JC on this one just because
Okay.
but I'm gonna give it to him anyway. I'm gonna try it anyway. The main part, what got us into Bonfire to begin with, was the idea of was the actual buy and burn.
Okay.
Is what can we do with the buy and burn to there's a lot of talk in X about should you turn it on, should you turn it off, when should you burn, all those things. Then you run into the problem with can you turn it off and all those types of things. And so I'm going to pass it over to JC and let him kind of explain. That part of it was kind of his.
And
JC, be sure to give people context as to, like, when you say buy and burn, they don't even know how we've gotten to the buy and burn yet. So maybe just give a general overview of what it is and how it might launch to outline that.
Perfect.
Gotcha. You pretty much nailed it, Rich. Not that it's right or wrong, but the traditional buy and burn can be turned off. And I support Jake and Eric and all the founders that basically it's their project. They have the idea. They're in it. So I trust them to do what they think is right. But some in the community want it on all the time. Some people want it turned up. And what the buy and burn is as tokens come into Bonfire, you're gonna mine, and a percent goes into a pool. And with that pool, every 8 minutes, it's a public called function where any user can hit it, and it will burn supply of Bonfire, Titan X, or X28, Element 280, and Morpheus. So what we wanted to do, there hasn't been a lot of innovation in the buy and burn side. All the innovation is on the tokenomics side or certain things. So we wanted to innovate on the buy and burn. And what we did was we took, we're going to take Bonfire and pair it with X28 in the liquidity pool. And that's going to be the price ratio as far as, so we set up triggers, multipliers on price reduction. So when the price ratio between Bonfire and X28 reduces, so if Bonfire drops in price in relation to X28, we're going to burn more and more of Bonfire. So when the price drops, let's say it says in the white paper, let me bring that up.
So the smart burn tech is designed to optimize the buy and burn process by adapting to market conditions. So this mechanism dynamically adjusts its burn rate to buy the dip. So for example, there's triggers that are automatically built into this. If there's a 1.5% price reduction, it activates a 1.5x multiplier. So if the market's falling off, then in the harder that it's kind of falling off the cliff, the buy and burn will be triggered to purchase a larger amount from the cheaper token to buy and burn that. Is that correct?
Exactly. So the idea is, price goes up, the buy and burn still runs, and it's cool. It's effective. Buy and burn is always effective, but we want to buy more tokens when the price is lower to burn, and that's going to that's more cost effective and higher deflationary. Um, so when you see Bonfire dip 5%, and it's going to activate a 2-time multiplier on the buy and burn. So if the buy and burns 5,000 and it drops 5%, then we're going to double it and burn 10,000.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, and I'll add this to it too. The good thing is you can also read in the white paper. There's an ability to kind of adjust that depending on where we need to be from 1 to 10%. It can go from 1, and that's per day. That's per day divided by 180 times. There's every 8 minutes. That's 180.
So yeah, basically what they're saying here, and it's actually very similar to Morph. You have a sliding scale where they can go in and they can change the percent of the total buy and burn that gets burned in one day, from 1% to 10%. Now, whether it's 1% in a day or 10% in the day, that is split up over 180 events in one day. So it's essentially every 8 minutes that is split up over. So that's important to know. And again, that's very similar to Morph and actually one or two others out there. So that's good. Let's take this. We need to take it one step back, actually, guys.
Yes.
So let's talk about how people are actually going to participate in this. So we've got the buy and burn now, but where are we going to get the funds for the buy and burn? How's that whole process work?
So this is the fun part. So basically what we created is a 8-day miner. You'll buy hash power, which we call smart burn power.
Okay.
And based on your amount of hash rate or smart burn power in relation to the total is going to give you your distribution, like how many Bonfire tokens you're mining. So the 8-day miner, it decays 12.5% every day. So it goes from 100 to 0. So on day 9, your miner's no good anymore. On day 1, your miner's mining at 100%. Go ahead.
Sorry. No, go ahead. You keep going.
So we're starting off with 50 million Bonfire tokens available for distribution each day for the first 8 days. And then the distribution amount reduces by 1% each day. So by day 9, you'll be at 49.5 million. And then day 10, it'll be just barely over 49 million. And it'll just keep going down for a full 368 days.
So the supply, just to reiterate here, you're going to have 50 million Bonfire tokens available every single day until day 9, where it starts to decay down. And then it will decay down 368 days or so. Am I correct in saying that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good to know. Now let's talk about smart burn power, because that people are going to have questions about that. So you're essentially purchasing a miner to be able to mine the available Bonfire tokens that are available day 1 through 8, for example, the 50 million and beyond. So you can purchase this mining SBP, Smart Burn Power. You receive mining power for 8 days only. So talk to us about that. So if you purchase it on day 1, it's only going to be available for 8 days. Correct in saying that?
Yes, it's only going to be mining for 8 days. So like a typical miner if you were going to mine Bitcoin, your miner is going to deteriorate over time. We wanted to reflect that in our virtual miner. It shouldn't run forever. It should deteriorate over time. And that what that's going to do a few things is that's going to allow new users to come in at any day and be able to play a fair game, right? You can't buy all the hash power on day one and just sit there and get all the tokens forever. Uh, Whales are going to have to cycle in and out, just like the little guys are going to have to cycle in and out. And the distributions for 368 days, it's going to be capped at 5.22 billion, roughly. And
tokens, Bonfire tokens.
Yes, tokens, not
so that's the total amount that could total maximum amount that could be mined within those 368 days.
Yes, and we wanted to make it a long game. That way, if you don't find out about Bonfire till day 100, we wanted that person to have the same opportunity as the person that was in on day one, right? And that's why the 8-day miner is important, because that keeps any new user that comes in has a fair, equal opportunity, right? That's important for the ethos.
Okay. So you're purchasing these miners. These miners are mining for BFX, Bonfire token here. And after day 9, the amount begins to decrease. Is there any reduction in burning power when you burn these miners? So smart burn power, it's still going to be a max on day 1. It'll be 100, and then it kind of decays down from there, correct? No matter where you are in that 365 days?
Yes, sir.
Cool.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is pretty interesting. We've already talked about, I think, two or three things that aren't currently existing in TitanX. The first one is the smart burn power. Okay, so you can purchase these tokens to mine BFX, and that's pretty interesting. And then the other key feature here is the and let me make sure that I'm getting this wording correctly. I want to make sure. Smart burn tech. So the smart burn tech says there's going to be a wallet that's going to be buying and burning based on how much participation that we have. It's going to be buying and burning Bonfire and many others. When the market's going down, it can be triggered. It is triggered automatically to purchase more. Whereas if the market's going up, those multipliers don't come in effect. How are those actually triggered? Are they publicly callable?
Yes.
Go ahead, Rich.
Yeah, they're publicly callable, and one of the things that we have noticed in some scenarios, and some people have done different things since, is sometimes those burns kind of get stuck depending on gas fees and all that stuff. So what we decided to do was basically let them stack. So every 8 minutes you're going to have one ready, and if there's not enough to reward you to make it worth it, just wait to the next one, or just wait to the next one, just wait to the next one, until it gets to a point where the fee is good enough to entice someone to go out there and do it. So I think that's a interesting and helpful way to handle that. It doesn't get clogged up, if you would, from that perspective.
Yeah, there's a lot of variables here too. So for the community that's listening to this, it's always important, if you can trigger it right away. You don't want it to stack up too much, because then you start to get the attraction of bots out there, and they do nefarious things.
Right.
It's just it's the nature of the beast in crypto these days. But just speaking from experience with Morpheus, I'm not sure if we've been pretty diligent as a community in calling those functions, and we've been fine. So yeah, awesome. Okay, so let's talk about the buy and burn allocation. And let's talk about this actually. Why did you guys decide, how are you tying into X28? Let's just talk about that very simply.
Yeah, I'll take that. So this is actually one of the exciting things about it, right? So X28 comes out there. You're able to transform your Titan X to X28, and you get the burn, right? You get the burn that happens there. So what we decided to do was to go that route. So whether you have X28, Titan X, ETH, or the new one is USDC, it does not matter. Come to Bonfire, you can mine, and what it'll do is it will actually put it through the process of getting it to the right place where you're burning Titan X, and then it goes into X28. So if you have USDC, it's going to take you through the process. It's just like you going to Uniswap or Switch or Uniswap, and you doing it yourself, but we're able to do it for you kind of in one fell swoop. So, it's going to still have the same, like going from USDC to X28, it's still going to have probably the same or similar cost that it would have, but you can do it there right on the thing. You don't have to go to all those places. But we transform everything to X28 and we burn Titan X on all three inputs.
That's super cool. So this is one of the, there's not too many out there right now, but this is going to be one of the first protocols that really utilizes X28. And the neat thing is, at the beginning, if you want to participate, you go to the front end. You're going to be able to mint BFX, but you're going to be doing that with Smart Burn Power, right?
Right.
And in order to purchase Smart Burn Power, which is kind of like your miner for BFX, you can use X28, you can use Titan X, ETH, or USDC to do so. And so that's neat. And then everything's going to be transformed into X28, which subsequently means Titan X gets burned off the market even more.
50%.
Off the market.
Yeah.
50%. Yeah. 50% is burned off the market. And then, all the tokenomics with X28, that benefits the ecosystem in a huge way as well. So we've got a lot of really good things going on here with Bonfire.
On top of the Titan X 50% burn when we transform it, we're also burning 8% of X28 through our buy and burn. So it's 50% Titan X and then 8% X28 on top of that. So that's exciting too.
Let's talk about that real quick.
I guess the name Bonfire is kind of self-explanatory.
Yeah. So you've got day 1 through 368. 20% of those funds collected are going to be used to purchase BFX tokens to fund the recycle pool. 56, and we'll talk about the recycle pool in a second. 56% is going to be used to burn BFX tokens, 8% E280 tokens, 8% Morpheus tokens, and the 8% is going to be used to buy and burn X28. So it's almost like a double buy and burn for Titan X in a way, because you're putting it through the transformer, and then you're also burning X28 daily, which is pretty neat too.
And we got the 888 up there for all you numerologists. We like to try and stay with the numerology as much as we could without breaking something.
Yep. All right. So, okay, guys, let's get into this part because this is the big question. What happens after day 369 or 368?
All right. I'll take that. I'll take it. Yeah, no problem. So we'll kind of go back to that recycle pool just for a minute, right? So from day 1 to day 368, 20% is going into what we call the recycle pool, right? And so we want, again, JC said this earlier, we want this to be a long-term project. We don't want it to be one that, we just want to have some health at the end of it. So that whole time we're saving some already purchased or already minted BFX. So it's not anything new. We're just putting some to the side that we just went out and bought more of. Think of it that way.
So the X28 funds, 20% from day 1 to 368 are going to be used to buy and purchase BFX tokens to fund the recycle pool.
Right. Yeah. So those are not new tokens. I want to make sure everybody knows that. So on day 369, the supply is capped of BFX. You can no longer mint brand new BFX. It's going to come directly from the recycle pool. And we kind of changed the buy and burn percentages on that day to take even more to keep the pool going. I think it's 50%. So the idea is that you can it, and the cool thing about this, if you think through it enough, you're actually getting like double buys or double burns from it, right? Because the 20% that we did has already been minted
Right.
and has already gone through the process of whatever it needed to go through, and then we're going to do it again. So you're
Yeah.
getting like a double burn on the recycle pool.
Which is neat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it locks it. It's not a burn, but it'll lock it. So for 367 days, day one, 20% is getting bought off the market and locked up for 367 days, and that's every day for all the way through till 369. So
Awesome.
it's like a buy and burn, but it's a buy and lock. I guess I would call it a buy and lock to the recycle pool.
Yeah. Now, Chuck Boy brought up a good question here, and this is going to tie into a couple things. So he says, how much does a day one miner cost? So one of the questions that we can kind of ask here is like, okay, if there's 50 million every single day for the first, 7, 8 days or whatever, how is that distributed? Okay, so if you have 1,000 people that come in and they participate and they purchase Smart Burn Power, how is that getting distributed to those 1,000 people or those 822 people or whatever? What's that look like?
It's all dependent on your Smart Burn Power versus the total Smart Burn Power of the Bonfire network, I guess you could say. So it's the exact same as Bitcoin mining or when Ethereum did have mining. So the price would be, it's set right now to 10 million x28 equals 369 Smart Burn Power.
Mm-hmm.
So really there's no real way to tell you how much you're going to get distributed to you for your amount of Smart Burn Power. It's all going to depend on participation, right? Because if you got 1,000 people that come in and get 369 Smart Burn Power, you're going to mine less tokens because your ratio to the total pool is smaller, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah. So you're saying, and let me just translate, keep it simple.
Yeah.
Let's say that there's a total of, just even numbers here, 100,000 Smart Burn Power, like the total hash rate, just like Bitcoin.
Right.
Depending on how much of that 100,000 that you own will also depend on how much of that daily supply that you're going to receive.
Yes.
So when you have a lot of participants, you might have a lot of Smart Burn Power, but you're not necessarily going to get as much as coming in on a slow day and maybe sniping the supply when there's not a lot of people participating, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, and here's the crazy thing about it. There is no, Chuck Boy said, well, how much does one miner cost? How much are you willing to try to get one for? That's really what it comes down to. You can put a 1 million x28 and whatever you get with everybody else is what you'll end up with, right? So there really isn't a hard minimum. There's no hard max.
The UI, when you see it, you'll understand it. Everything is explained. You'll be able to see every day's total hash power, and you'll be able to see your personal hash power or Smart Burn Power. So you'll have all the numbers and data that you need to make a informed decision based on yourself, right? So you'll even be able to go up to 8 days into the future and see the Smart Burn Power of Bonfire's network at the current time right now. So I say in the future is going to change as more people participate or less people participate, but you'll still get a pretty good number of current where we are current. So if you come in and you don't have any Smart Burn Power, no miners, you'll be able to look at all the numbers and you'll be like, okay, there's 10 million smart burn power in the network. How much is it going to cost me to get enough smart burn power to get this many bonfire? You'll be able to do the math pretty simple. We don't hide any numbers. Everything's transparent. There's so much information on the UI. It's ridiculous.
Love it. Now, okay, and here's the thing, guys. Part of us kicking this whole thing off and getting the word out about Bonfire is giving you guys opportunity to come in, take a look at the white paper, jot down your questions, and then come in to the Telegram and ask these guys.
Yes.
So we don't just want to spring a launch on people. We want you guys to understand and really think about this, because quite frankly, this is not a simple protocol. This is a complex protocol, but it's a lot of fun. And the neat thing is that the concepts actually are taken from other places, taken from Bitcoin and taken from some other projects around. So you'll be able to piece it together a little bit better. But it's important, folks. Do your research, write down questions that you have, take a look at the white paper, and then hop into the Telegram, which the link is in this description, and you guys can ask these gentlemen about that.
We'll actually probably start sharing some images and videos of the UI so people can get a feel for it now that the white paper's out. And you'll be able to understand it pretty simple. We'll explain it, and I think everyone will be really impressed and pleased with the amount of stuff that we've included in the UI, and the quality. The quality is top notch.
Yeah.
And now that we're out here doxed and all that stuff, right? You're going to see us. You're not going to be able to get us off your screen. We're going to be there every day going forward. So we may even have a session where we actually show it live. The test net.
And the only place where you guys can figure that out, you got to follow them on Twitter. It's at Bonfire X28, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yep.
And then Telegram, which is t.me/Bonfire X28. Am I correct in saying that?
Yes.
I got to double check it. I always have to double check it.
Yeah, I'll double check here. Yes, it's Bonfire X28. All right. Yeah, so those two places, check it out. Launch could be coming within the next week or so, or 2 weeks, certainly before the inauguration. That's important. So it's important to ask as many questions as you can to be prepared for this launch. Very important here. All right. I want to point out a couple other things. Okay. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say another exciting thing that we have is vesting. And where with vesting, you can earn up to, we had to put a cap on it, and you can earn up to 300% bonus bonfire tokens by vesting. Vesting is optional. You don't have to vest. You can claim on day one. Now, when you claim day 1 through 8, which on the white paper it explains is technically day 2 through 9, but those days are going to have forfeiture, and the forfeiture amount is 1 to 8%, and those forfeitures get sent to that day's miners that are still vesting. So that's going to grow a vesting pool, and you can earn up to a maximum of 300% bonus. And what this is going to do is there's a lot of arbitrage opportunities. So based on the market, it might be worth it for you, and gas, right? Gas fees have a lot to do with this too. It might be worth it for you to take an 8% hit and take advantage of an arbitrage opportunity that you see if gas is cheap enough. And that's fine for other users that want to vest, because you're giving up 8% of your tokens to the pool. And as long as you're vesting, then you get rewards from the pool. And the last man standing is going to get the most rewards, but you're capped at 300%. So once people hit 300% of bonus, then they're going to want to claim. So that's going to drive the rewards pool even more. So 50% of your vesting bonus, just your bonus, not your original mine tokens, 50% of your bonus is going to go to the rewards pool. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be because there's so many different ways you can do it. You can invest and get that bonus. You don't have to. It's so many different variables.
The whole purpose of vesting rewards, diamond hands will be rewarded, right?
Yes.
So the vesting period is an optional 8-day time frame.
Yes.
During this time, users have the choice to claim their mined BFX tokens immediately, or you can wait for that full vesting period of 8 days for vesting to maximize your rewards. So users can claim their mined BFX tokens anytime after the mint day being claimed has concluded. If claimed before the 8-day vesting period concludes, a portion of the mined tokens will be forfeited based on the day of the claim, up to 8% max. Forfeited tokens are added to the vesting reward pool to reward users who hold their tokens longer for each individual minting day. So, for example, each miner follows its own vesting schedule, which meaning miners from different days will vest separately. So, day 1, a user mines BFX. Nothing is claimable until the next day. Day 2, the user can claim 92% of day 1's mined BFX. Day 3, they can claim 93%. Day 4, 94%. All the way to day 9, 99%. And then day 10, well, actually, it's 8 days, not 10 days, correct?
Yeah, it's just
Depends
the way the
on how
math
you
works
count
with
it.
it. It's 8 days, but the way the math works, because the miner starts the second day, it just basically each day you gain another percent that you can claim out of the 8 that you would have lost on day 1, right? On the day 1 that a miner was available, right?
So it gives you an option though to be able to nuke it if you think you need to.
Yes.
And you can just go ahead and take what you want to take, or maybe you want to compound this. Maybe the chart's looking good, whatever the case may be.
Yep.
But you can kind of roll it back into the system as well. But this gives you a choice, and with choices, some people make good choices, some people make bad choices. But it's just a little bit of an opportunity there for people to do well.
Yeah, there's all kinds of gaming things here.
Tons, yes.
That's something that I was I'm excited about the whole thing, but one of the things I was really excited about was the whole gaming theory. That's coming in, like it started, I didn't know anything about gaming theory when I got into Titan X, and then now I'm all for it. Like, this is fun stuff. And it's really going to be, it's going to be fun. It's going to be, you're going to have to get to make some choices. Some will be good, some will be bad. But that's part of it. It's part of the fun, right? The one thing that I do like about it is even after the last man standing, there's still tokens that are still in the vesting pool. And after the last man standing claims, all those get distributed to the next 8-day miners. So when we get into like day 30 and day 40, you're going to start seeing that thing growing over time. So even though there may only be 40 million BFX available for the day, you might be able to see that there may be another 2 million available in the vesting pool. We don't know, because that's the market's going to determine that number, right? We have no clue what that's going to be.
Yeah, but for the protection of the protocol, it's important to point out that it's capped at 300%.
Right, exactly.
Right. Because we don't want this to be a runaway train with massive inflation and just nukes everything. That's important.
Well, and I'm going to give you another plug. That's one of the things we were kind of talking through the tokenomics, and we were like, man, there was a place that they could have gamed it if we didn't do it. And it wouldn't have been good for the protocol. And you guys helped us kind of figure that out, and we came up with a plan to do that. So Pretty excited about it. We didn't want somebody that like paid $1 to get 5 billion tokens or whatever it was. No, that's the way. Yeah, that'd be all of them. But
Yeah, just the way it worked, it wasn't fair per se. J Class, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say it's important to distinguish the 300% additional. So when you mine, you invest for the 8 days, you get your 100% of what you mined.
Yeah, you always get 100 if you hold.
So then on top of on top of that, with the vesting pool, it's funded by forfeits. So when we giving you a bonus, we're not minting new tokens. The tokens already existed that another user forfeited, and then that way there's no crazy inflation. And the 300% is a bonus on top of your 100%. So in reality, it's closer to 600 or 700%. But when you take out or closer to 600%, when you take out the 50% that you're going to pass down when you claim to the people still vesting, then it gets cut into 300%. And the 300% is what you're going to see on your screen plus your additional 100%. And that's if you hit the max. Not every pool is going to necessarily be able to hit 300% for the last man, but I think there's going to be quite a few that have some good benefits to where, you're mining, let's say you mined 1,000 Bonfire, and if you stay in the pool for long enough, you could possibly turn that into 4,000 Bonfire. So it's like quadrupling your mining power, basically.
And you do not have to be the last man standing to trigger that total three. That's what we noticed in our testing. Like you could be I don't know what number. You don't have to be the last person to actually get there, but to actually make that percentage.
And to be clear, last man standing, talk more about exactly how that works for the audience, because they might be a little bit confused.
Yeah, and that's fine. So basically, it kind of goes back to smart burn power, right? When someone minted, they had so much smart burn power that they used to get that mint. And so that's what's driving. We kind of talked about if someone were to claim on day 2, right? They're going to forfeit 8% of their tokens, right? If multiple people do that, you're going to have a big pool for people to participate in. And I'm just going to make this easy number. So you got 10 people that participated on day 1, right? 2 of them are gone. Well, 2 of them gave up 8%. So now that means that there were 2 users in the pool total. They're gone. Now there are only 8 users in the pool, if that makes any sense.
10 users, not 2.
Yeah.
10 users.
Yeah, there were 10.
Yeah,
there were 10. There were 10. Now they went to 8. And so now, depending on what their smart burn power was, will determine how much of the percentage of that pool they get. So it's a fair way of doing that. And every time that they claim, if they're fully vested, which is that day 10 that we talked about, if they're fully vested, then they will get their piece, but a portion of even theirs will roll down to the next person. You can't get all of it, right?
So let's clarify this real quick.
Yeah.
So day 1, you're competing against 10 people,
right,
for 10 days. Now, you're just competing against that group of people that minted that day. That's very important for people to understand. So you have a 10-day competition with all the people that minted on January 18th. Okay, so the last man standing, if you're one of the last people standing there for each day, okay, so the next day it's a different group of people that are competing against each other. But if you hold out and you have your last man standing here and you just hold on, then the additional is going to be distributed back to those people who were competing against each other if they made it all the way to the end.
Once number 8 guy, once the second guy or the third guy, the 7 guys still benefit from it. And like you said, if of 100 days have passed, that's 100 days of minting, and math wise, it's going to end up being like 92. 92. There's going to be there's going to be 100 different groups of last men standing.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool. I wanted to be very clear on that. So you're not competing against everybody that's ever minted, just your day.
And when you do that first miner, you have 8 mining days. So you're actually in 8 different groups starting on day 1.
Yeah.
And that's a whole nother beauty of the protocol, that 8-day period. You know, it's you're getting for one input, you're getting 8 claims.
Yeah.
Right.
So keep talking about that.
So if I buy on day 1, I'm mining for 8 days. So I could go in on day 2 and increase my mining power, and that would give me another 8 days. Or I could just I could mint on day 1 and let it run through until the miner's dead, and start a new miner on day 9. If that makes sense.
Yeah. So you can create, you can buy your smart burn power on day 1. After that, can you buy more on day 1, or can you only buy once per day? Right.
Yeah.
So
you
then
can buy as much as you want.
Right. So that miner decays, the hash power decays. So you can top it off on day 2. And if you top it off on day 2, now you're competing against all the day 2 people.
Yes.
So you're basically your heat, so to speak,
and
is
you're
the
stacking.
day.
You're stacking hash power too if you do it that way.
Yeah. Okay.
I think we really truly won't know what all this is going to look like till we get about 30 days in, because we get through all the days and kind of start seeing stuff. It'll start making way more sense.
Yeah.
When you start pulling up on a day that has, like, I don't know what the number is going to be, right? It could be like another extra million BFX tokens, even though it's only supposed to be 49 or 48 or whatever it was, right?
Yeah.
So it'll be fun to see how that works out. It's completely turn on the market. If everybody vests, there won't be a pool, right? But I guarantee you there will be people that will look like JC said, they'll see the price and they're going to say, I'm going to take mine now while I can. And when they do, they're going to benefit everybody else and themselves.
And maybe gas has been high for a week, right? And so you haven't been able to claim, and gas all of a sudden drops to almost nothing. You might say, hey man, now's my time to claim, right? So you might be willing to take a 2% forfeit if you're not having to pay a $50 gas fee. Right. Yeah. So gas has a little bit to do with the game theory as well. It's going to have people claiming early, possibly as well.
So I'll say this: if your mind is spinning right now, it's okay. A lot of the front end that you'll see, the actual site, when you see it, it'll make sense. And as we show some of these videos, you'll be able to see kind of some numbers jumping around, and it'll all kind of come together when you see it. The site really makes it clean and way more understandable. But, it's all in the white paper, but you can see it in the DApp fairly soon.
Got it. Important part here too, liquidity pairing. So at launch, you're going to have 500 million BFX token. They're going to be paired with 50 billion X28 to establish liquidity pools. And that's going to be on V3. So what's interesting about this is every single day, that people are purchasing smart burn power to mine for BFX, 8% of the funds are going to be used to start that are used to start new miners are contributed directly to the liquidity pool for the first 368 days. So that's going to be 368 days of LP growing automatically. After the 368 days, it's going to be reduced down to 1%, but you're still going to have a 1% drip that is constantly increasing the liquidity, the LP automatically for good. Now, what are you going to do with the LP fees? 50% of fees generated by the liquidity pool are automatically reinvested to continuously grow and enhance LP over time. So that ensures long-term stability. So you've got the fees that are collected, and a lot of times when you launch, those fees are really high the first couple of days. You got a lot of volatility up or down. And that's going to be kind of put back into the liquidity pool. And then you also have the 8% for 368 days and then 1% moving forward constantly forever.
Yes.
There's going to be, this is also important, allocations. First 368 days, 84% of all that economic energy is going to be allocated to the smart burn contract for efficient buy and burn operations. 8% is going to be contributed to liquidity pool contract, which we just talked about. 8% is going to be going to the no expectations wallet. After 368 days, the amount that goes to the smart burn contract is actually notched up to 91%. And then you've got 1% contributed to the LP contract, and then 8% goes to no expectations. So it actually gets notched up after that, which is pretty cool. We got some questions here real quick. Are there any, I guess, any penalties? I guess you could say that if you pull your tokens too early, there is, a vesting penalty, I guess you could say, right?
Yeah, it's no different than, like, I say no different. Like, one thing you'll see in this whole I know you didn't ask this, but one of the things you'll see in this whole thing is we took a lot of good ideas from different places. You had Element 280. They have NFT holders. You got Orcs, who has Viston rewards. You have some other guys doing some similar things. So to answer your question bluntly, I guess you could call it a penalty, but it's really just a forfeit, right? You're basically just saying, I don't want to wait 8 days, so I'm going to give a little bit back because I'm getting such a good deal on whatever price might be, right? But so it really isn't a penalty. You still can get 100% as long as you don't claim for 8 days. That's really what it comes down to.
So yeah,
there's no taxes or anything. It's not a tax.
It's not a tax coin. It is kind of a loophole, I guess you could say. We created, Uniswap V3 won't allow tax tokens, so we called it a forfeit and did it in the vesting period. So that's the only penalty, is if you don't vest for the full 8 days. And to me, the only reason you would do that is because of an arbitrage opportunity that you're going to make money. So that's up to you. And if you do that, you're going to make a profit, and that's awesome. But at the same time, you're going to forfeit some of your tokens that you mine to participants that are still vesting. So it's a win-win for everybody, I think. We tried to do what was best for the community in every scenario. I said on Twitter, if it went against the ethos, we threw it in the trash, pretty much.
Yeah. One cool thing is, after you get past the 8 days, it may not go up, but it will not go down. Talking about your rewards. That's what's cool about it.
Once you hit 100%, you
it's like a green candle forever. Like, it's always got the potential to go up. It may stay the same, but it will never go down. I'm not talking price. I'm talking BFX that you could actually claim. You could actually claim more tomorrow than you did today.
Yeah, yeah. And there've been some adjustments based on some calculations that we've made with regards to, a lot of supply coming out within the first couple of weeks. Like, how do you kind of fight against that, push back against that? So guys, this is just a long play. The first year you've got your distribution phase. After that, nothing else comes out. And then there's just a whole lot of economic energy that's cycled back through to reinforce what's most important in crypto, which is the thickness of liquidity pools are extremely important. And then just constant buy pressure. And we're able to accomplish that with these innovations that have been created within Titan X to really push that forward. And I think people really like the mining concept, right? It's not like it's not brand new. There've been protocols that I've seen in the past that have done things, but they've not done it this way. they've not done it this way with the economic support that this contract has and the way that it operates. So very excited to see your idea come to life, man. Very excited.
Couldn't have done it without you, man.
It's all good, man. That's what we're here for.
And the team. I don't want to shout any names out. They might not want to. But yeah,
well, I'll do it. Scott and Shane.
Yeah.
Shout out to Scott and Shane. Just absolutely, they're animals, just crushing it.
Great people too, man.
Look at the last comment. That's what we're going for. I don't know if you see it.
The Trump pump.
The Trump pump.
Yes, the Trump pump. Let's go.
That's what we're aiming for.
Yeah, I mean this could go down in history as the most brilliant launch of all time. Trump inauguration day, and it just rips. Let's hope so. No promises, folks. No promises. Don't sue me for God's sakes, you psychos. All right.
Yeah, what Jake's always saying could nuke to zero. So we don't know.
It could.
Yeah, it really could. So,
shout out to the other communities, E280, Morph community, and guys.
Yes.
I didn't put these guys into a headlock and said, "Hey, do Morph." You know, we didn't do that. In fact, I think I had to talk you guys down a little bit. Based on what we might have been doing for Morph. So
yeah, we wanted to burn everything, man. Y'all had to talk us off the ledge a couple times.
Yeah.
They say, what y'all want to do with this? I say, just burn it. And they, no.
Yeah,
throw it in the fire.
Here's the thing. There's a lot of great communities out there inside of Titan X. We landed on Morpheus for just and E280 for something E280 does, the fact that they're like constantly burning everybody's tokens, right?
Yeah.
We're like, man, if we could tap into E280, give them a little bit of love, that's going to help the whole ecosystem the way they burn their stuff.
Yep.
And so Morpheus is going to help Dragon X. I felt like we felt like we could kind of do that. X28 is going to help everybody.
Yeah.
And so that was really our goal there. That's really what it came down to. Was what can we do the most damage with, in a good way.
Yeah.
Love it. And spread the love out. It's a marketing tool as well. I mean, let's not sit here and say it's not, because it is, folks. And there's reasons why people do things, and that's one of the reasons. But ultimately, you're helping everybody out. You're helping your community out. I think that this is built in a really cool way. I'm really excited to see how the market takes to it. If I were in your shoes and you're listening to this stream right now and you're interested, I would start digging in immediately, because there's so many different ways to play this and to get different outcomes. And not everybody has to have the same outcome. So very, very interesting stuff here.
And we kind of tried our best to design it where there's no losers.
Yeah.
We did our best to where everybody wins. Whether you start on day 1 or day 200, you start on day 200, you can come in and you can still not be crushed, right? Everything's fair, equal. It's a low cap supply. We got a lot of cool things that should really do good for the community. Another thing I just wanted to touch on real quick is our auditing. So we got 2 professional audits. We will be publishing the final soon, but we are double audited. Everything came back really good. I think there was like 2 or 3 small little things that we needed to fix, but it was nothing breakable. The team did a great job on the first run through. Nothing real crazy.
Another shameless plug for Build the Tech. They also kind of have their own. They're a big enough group. They kind of have their own internal audit. You have multiple teams, I believe, and so one team builds something, they pass it over to the other team, and they audit it, and I'm assuming it goes back the other way. And so you kind of have the Morpheus teams, they're looking at it, and then you have the 2 auditors looking at it. And so
and to be clear, guys, we internally audit anything that we put out. That's right. And we run simulations, we fast forward time, we compare the outputs to make sure nothing broke over 6 years or 3 months or 2
Yeah,
years.
we did that for sure.
Yeah, we test.
but-
I think we hit like day 768 or something on testnet, and not a single issue.
Yep.
Flawless.
Yep. And it's important to know, though, for the audience that they're not using us for their auditing. This
No,
is
we're
third
not
party.
using- Yeah.
Yeah, this is very important for you guys to know that, but we do that internally regardless of
Yeah, that was
who we
just a
get.
nice extra. Is what I was trying to get at. Yeah,
Yes,
it gave me as a founder more comfort that you guys. I knew you guys were looking at almost in your own little.
Yes.
That's what in our world you call it QA.
Yes.
That made
yes. Well, you don't want to put out a
assurance.
bad product, you know, because
Yes.
ultimately your success is our success as well.
Right.
Yep. Awesome. All right, gentlemen. Well,
Was that
first
was
off,
that all the questions?
Yeah, there was,
okay.
you know, a lot of what we talked about. You know, you've been looking at the questions too. We've covered it, but
Awesome.
I want to shout out to the chat. You've had to drink from an absolute fire hose of information, and you made it through. So if you want follow up, check the white paper. It's in the description. If you want to talk to these guys directly, hit up the Telegram. That's also in the description. And by the way, guys, if you have any development services, it doesn't have to be a smart contract. It can be websites or anything else, mobile apps for your regular business. Hit up buildthetech.com. We can take care of you there. And then shout out to the Morpheus community. This will be the first protocol that is actually burning Morpheus off of the market. And Morpheus has already crossed 13% of total supply burn. So Morpheus people are going to absolutely love you guys for sure.
We're gonna kick that up a little bit.
Love it. Guys, I'll let you guys have the last word here. Start with Rich and then J Class.
Yeah, just this is my biggest thing is, you know, we wanted something that would be fun. We wanted something to be innovative. I feel very confident we've done both of those things. And we're, again, I said at the very beginning, we're much like the people watching the video, right? We're part of the community. We've been here. We may not have been docs till today, but we've been out there, and we appreciate any support you got, and super pumped to get rolling on this thing.
Great. Thank you. And J Class?
Yeah, thank you to everybody that came and watched. Definitely, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. We're here and we want to help. We're community members first, and that's cool. We're builders second. We try to do everything that we could to benefit the community as a whole. We embrace the ethos. That's what really kind of stuck us to Titan X is the ethos. It's very important. No rugs, no scams, no VCs, no insiders, no pre-mines. You can go on and on. And we're proud of that, and we're proud to be a part of that. And thank you for having us on too, man. And everything you did for us.
Yeah, man. It was a blast. You learned so much, and this is just what you guys put together is absolutely phenomenal. So excited to see this come to market. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls from all over the world, as always, do not like, comment, or subscribe. Brandon and friends out. Thanks.